Shalom, Yasharala. I want to start out by giving infinite honors to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem and Karkadash. I want to give double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to my fellow laborers in Yahweh Shah, pushing his true across the four winds in these last days, seconds, and times. All right, these beautiful times we're living in. All right, you're a damn fool if you don't see that the kingdom of heaven is upon us, man. Um, Although they are turbulent, troublesome times, they're still beautiful because uh, these prophecies must be fulfilled. We must go through these things before we enter into the wide, into the kingdom of heaven. You got that similitude in the book of Ezra where it say on one side is a tempest, on the other side is a disco inferno, and the path is so narrow only one man can get through. All right, so we have to go through these troublesome times to enter through that narrow corridor to go into the kingdom of heaven. But on this clip here, I just been looking at a lot of these news stations in Minnesota, and when you come into truth, man, the Most High teaches us how to think. He gives us spiritual mindsets, and we learn our enemy. We learn the nature of our enemy. We learn how our enemy thinks, because when you look at it vice versa, our enemy has studied us according to Daniel 28, Ezekiel the 28th chapter. All right, he sought out all things. He's wiser than Daniel. All right, our enemy, the elite of our enemy, and us men of the Lord is hopeful elect. We think the same way. So we've learned the nature of our enemy. We learn how he gets down. All right, and we know how he rock. All right, and the balances of deceit are in his hands. Okay, he's a magician. He's a trickster. He's the father of lies. And what he uses these so like he uses his media outlets to deceive the nations, to trick the nations into believing whatever his forked tongue ass bring out. Now on this clip, I'm gonna bring out his trickery. Something just not adding up at all. All right, when something don't add up at all with this devil on his media outlets, when you smell a rat, you always go to the scriptures. I brought this on my last sit down. But something not adding up, this devil is setting a trap and a snare. All right. Now I'm gonna pull this clip up and I'm gonna play this clip and I'm gonna be interjecting. I'm gonna show you what I mean. All right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah.
Of the Minneapolis police precinct, it is a very big question. We know that the governor's office has sent 500 National Guard troops tonight to the Twin Cities to try to tamp down this violence, this looting, the fires. But we don't see them anywhere in the city. We also see tonight that President Trump has entered the fray just a few minutes ago. He tweeted that he cannot stand back and watch this happen, in his words, to a great American city. He's attributing it to the radical left mayor, in his words, Jacob Fry. Let's set that aside for just a moment. Here's what's important here. He says that he has spoken to Governor Walz and told him that the military is available to come in and do it. But then the president says this, as any difficulty that happens from now on, he says the federal government will assume control. And he says this, when the looting starts, the shooting starts.
You see what I'm saying? Now that's where I say, Salakia, I smell a rat. He said when the looting starts, the shooting starts. All right, the looting has started. And to me, what's worse than the looting, all right, they so-called burned down a AutoZone and ransacked a Target. But what's worse than that, and what's unprecedented, is citizens bum rushing a police precinct and taking over. This is where the rats come. This is where the rats come in. Now you mean to tell me you got all these police, you got all this technology available to you, and I will say this: those crowds are not big as they. It's not as many people out there as at all. There are big crowds, yes, but you see bigger crowds at football games. You seen big crowds a few years ago when they had that when those people was protesting in New York and a lot of places. I forgot what the fuck they call it because what they called this shit when all the people was taking the streets and just protesting. Though the crowds were huge. All right, like when that guy got killed in Iran, like the second in command, third in command, those crowds were huge. These crowds in Minnesota are manageable for the police and definitely the National Guard. All right, those crowds that they're showing on TV are not that fucking big, bro. So they're big, but they're manageable. Okay, so they let the police precinct get burnt down. All right, and so-called taking over. That's a fucking rat. Because watch this. Now watch this. And Donald Trump say when the looting starts, the shooting start. All right, they letting this happen. They could shut this shit down. All right, they could shut this shit down. The government has enough manpower to shut this shit down. Now watch this, and let's think about the frenzy that the people are in. If you cannot stop people from ransacking and putting a police precinct on fire, but you can stop them from doing this right here.
Are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house.
This is where all the fucking cops
Look
at.
how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many. Look how fucking many are defending this killer's house. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look how fucking many. They're defending a murderer's house. They are defending a murderer's house.
All right.
Look how many.
Now, you got that many fucking cops at this guy's house, at the guy that killed the black guy. All right. Look how many fucking cops that is. Look like it could be about 100 of them to 200 of them. They're at his house, protecting his house from getting put on fire. All right. But they couldn't protect the precinct. Something wrong with that now. Wouldn't it seem like the people, when they find out that all the cops are at the guy's house, who they're mad at, that's who all of their anger is directed at. That's who they're in the streets for. Wouldn't it seem like that multitude would come to the guy's house? It's not adding up at fucking all. It would seem like when they found out that all the cops was at his house, that's where everybody at. They're not at the precinct. Why aren't they going to his house? And if you went over there to his house, these cops are there to stop it. All right? That's not adding up. The government wants this stuff to happen. They are, and let me play more of this clip. They want this to happen. All right? This is what they need. They need this to happen. And soon, people are going to start getting killed. That's why we teach through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. Now, elders has always taught us, when civil unrest come, you're a damn fool to be going down there protesting. You're a damn fool to be going down there looting. Us men of the Lord, we foresee the evil and we hide ourselves, man. All right? Soon they're going to start shooting those crowds. Mark my words. They're going to start shooting in those crowds, okay? They're going to start just They're not going to be throwing flashbangers. They're not going to be shooting rubber bullets. They're not going to be spraying tear gas. They're going to be shooting live rounds in those crowds. That's the agenda of the so-called white man. That's how he gets down. So he can implement martial law. And when they do that, you're going to have militias and people rise up and they're going to shoot back. So if you're a man of the law, you definitely, if you're in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know not to go near these places when these uproars begin. All right? When they uproars begin like that. All right? And then you're going to have opportunists when they see these uproars happen like that, that they're going to go to the places where the cops not at. All right? Because they're going to, when stuff like this happen, the government is going to need all this manpower at ground zero. So guess what? All these women that got people on child support, all these people that got vendettas, when you call 911, all of it, when this thing hits full circle, you're not going to get a response from nobody to come to help you. All these bitches that got men on child support and so on and so forth, they're going to end up whacked. They're going to end up dead, because that's where opportunists are going to go outside of the city, where from ground zero, and guys that have vendettas with other guys, they're going to come kill them. See, these are the times we're living in, but I don't want to get off topic. All right. The government is permitting these things to happen. They are letting these things happen because it's not adding up. So you mean to tell me you can't protect the precinct, but you can go in a neighborhood and protect a man's house from getting burnt and ransacked and spoiled? That's not adding up at all. Okay? They let the precinct get put on fire, and probably the ones to put it on fire. All right? They probably set it ablaze themselves. This is how the so-called white man gets down, man. All right? Let me play a little bit more.
So this is a very strong reaction from the President of the United States in the midst of this really terrible event that's happening in Minneapolis and St. Paul tonight.
Well, Pat, let's break this down a little bit. I mean, who's making the call? Is the mayor listening to the fire chief saying, "I'm afraid to go in"? Is the police chief saying to the fire chief, "I don't have enough guys to protect your fire equipment"? I mean, at some point, someone has to take some responsibility, and I think that's why you see the president getting so worked up. And I think a lot of people watching this are going, where is law enforcement? Where is the fire department? But I know that these decisions aren't made in a vacuum. How does this leadership flow chart work in terms of who is doing or not doing things?
Well, this is the most important question of tonight. We have not heard from any of our city leadership, nor have we heard from Governor Walz about tamping down this violence. That's something I think that is very unusual in all of my years of reporting, that we have not seen our leaders come forward and say, this is what's happening, this is what we're going to do, particularly to stop this violence. So we don't know the answer to the question, Frank. We don't know why or who is not allowing the police to come in, the firefighters to come in, or the National Guard. I will say again that the National Guard has been ordered to these cities, but around the 3rd Precinct, which is burning down, which is something I think that none of us has seen in our lifetime. Unprotected police department burning down.
You see what I'm saying? Even these devils, even these, well, you know, that's logical thinking. That's something you never seen, man. And this devil has the manpower. He has the resources to stop that. That's unprecedented. They're letting this happen. All right? Now you want to ask yourself, why are they letting this happen? All right? To get order out of chaos. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. That's how this devil gets down. And all of this is going to come full circle on the Hebrew Israelites. Mark my words. All of this chaos, all of this drama, all right? All this political theater, all right? All of this government officials saying it's this guy's problem, is this that guy, he's not handling his business, is going to come full circle and fall in the Hebrew Israelites' lap, and they're going to say, we're the reason all this is happening. All right? This is the way that devil gets down. All right? They'll put the building on fire. They'll shoot a few citizens kill a few cops, so on and so forth, and they're going to put it all in the Hebrew Israelites' lap and say all of this is happening because of them, because of what they're teaching on the highways, their hate speech, so on and so forth. They're going to put one of their government implants in and do a false flag. All right, this is where all this is going to end up at.
Because they gave it up. They retreated, and
man, a police precinct would never give up their police precinct. They'll get to killing people before they do that, man. They got MRAPs, assault rifles, great communications. They can hit you from the air. They got drones. All right, a lot of these police precincts in these major cities. This is a major city, Minneapolis, Minnesota, man. All right, they've been militarized, man. This is a crock of bullshit. All right, it's not adding up. It doesn't make fucking sense. All right, they are letting this out. They probably burning down all of those stores. All right, when you understand how this devil get down. All right. Let me get some scriptures. All right, I'm going to start off in Isaiah. This is Isaiah 25, verse 6. And in this mountain shall Yahweh, the power of hosts, make unto all people a feast of fat things, a feast of wines on the lees, of fat things full of marrow, of wine on the lees well refined. So the Most High has preserved this devil to be spoiled, all right? Wine on the lees represents wine being preserved, and the lees is that chemical reaction, that crust that comes from the wine sitting so long, being preserved, all right? And the fat things full of marrow is the Most High is making this devil fat for the slaughter. He's letting him get all his power, let him get high on his high horse and prideful for the day that he will be slaughtered, all right? That's what we're coming up on. Let's see the fall of this devil. And he would destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all the people. All right, and that's what you're seeing right now, this covering cast. Him being a magician, with his trickery, deceiving the nations through his media outlets. All right, this devil through his media outlets will have you thinking the villain is the good guy and the good guy is the villain. That's that covering cast. That's how he get down, okay? All right? And the veil that is spread over all the nations. He put that veil over the nations to deceive the simpletons and the inhabitants of the earth. And that's what you're seeing right now. He's saying like they've just lost all power in Minneapolis. The people have ransacked the police station. They're burning the city down. When in fact, you see bigger crowds at football games. You see bigger crowds gathering together for high school state championships and shit. Like when they give you the aerial view of the crowds, is those crowds are not, you've seen bigger crowds everywhere in this society. This is something that they could shut down very easily, okay? And they're not, so they're deceiving you. They're deceiving you, but it's a reason they're deceiving you, all right? And the reason they're deceiving you, they're going to do what Nero did during the time of Rome. They're going to say it's the Christians. The Christians burning this place down. It's because of the Christians, okay? The Hebrew Israelites are looting. The Hebrew Israelites are doing all these things. That's what it's going to come to full circle, okay? This is Jeremiah 5:26, and it reads, "For among my people are found wicked men." All right. Now, this scripture is about the wicked of our nation, but you can liken it to Esau, because this is what Esau is doing. They lay wait as he that snattereth a set of snares. They set a trap. They catch men. That's what this devil is doing. And then you got to understand, this devil taught our people how to be wicked. Because when you read John the 8th chapter, it say, ye of your father the devil. It's just that when our people learn how to do wicked, all right, when this next, our people proceed, they deeds of the, they deeds proceed the deeds of the wicked, all right? Because at the end of the day, the Israelites do everything the best. And when it comes to wickedness, they the best, all right? Whatever they put their hand to, they're the best at it, okay? As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit. Therefore, they become rich and waxing rich. All right, and that's the tool of this devil. All right, he catch men through trickery, through wizardry, through witchcraft. All right, through deceitfulness. All right. As a cage is full of birds, so are their houses full of deceit, man. All right. And they catch men, all right? When you're deceived by this devil and you live according to his philosophies from him bewitching you, you're going to end up dead. You're going to end up with a microchip implant in your body because you believe everything he says. You're going to be looking at the people that's here to help you, the men of Great Millstone, the men that have this doctrine of life, that are here for your good, and you're going to be looking at them like they're your enemies. All right, that's what happens when this devil put a covering cast over you. All right, that's what happens when you believe these media outlets and you don't know how to take the meat from the bone. These devils can't protect their own police precinct, but they can protect one man's personal house because the crowds are too big and the crowds are overwhelming people, and the crowds could overtake the police precinct, but the crowds can't overtake a man's personal house. You don't see no cops at that police precinct while it's burning, but you see 100 to 200 cops in front of the man's house. That's not adding up. It's not adding up at all, man. It's not adding up at all. All of this shit is going to come full circle, and it's going to be because of the Hebrew Israelites, all right? And you're not going to be able to get around it. All right, and for you young brothers that's coming in, man, we don't go to these fucking protests. When all hell break loose, we go away from it. We go the opposite way. If you're a wise man, all right, because with you being a Hebrew Israelite, we know what's gonna happen down the pipe. All right, they're gonna put all this stuff on us. All right, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything's a rerun. They're going to come full circle and say we're the reason all of these misfortunes are happening in America because of what we teach and what we preach on the highways. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, all right? This is Sirach 12, verse 10, and it reads, never trust thine enemy, for like if iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So that you gotta, when you look at the news, you have to have spiritual bifocals when you read the news to know how to take the meat off the bone, what's real and know what's fake. Because the majority of the shit you see on the news is going to be lies, fallacies, deceits, man. Okay? When you look at all this turmoil and shit, all that shit they're setting it up. And they're fixing it. You're gonna see them throw a curveball, and somehow, in some way, it's gonna be because what the Hebrew Israelites did. All right, what they've been teaching. This is why all of this shit is happening. All right, this is why people is looting. This is why people's doing this and that. Okay, they're doing this to get order out of KO. All right, they're bringing in the calamities. They're starting the atrocities. And they're using this to push their agenda. They want to chip every man, woman, and child with a microchip. Okay? And they want to kill you so-called Negroes, Native Americans, and Latin-speaking people of the earth and wipe you off as being a nation. Because they know that you're the true children of Israel of antiquity. All right? That's what all this is, all this turmoil, all this uproar as the people is all about. So don't believe these devils when you see a lot of this shit on the news, and stay away from, because what you see is happening in Minneapolis is going to happen in every city and state in the union. It's going to spread like cancer, and it's about to spread fast. You don't have to live in Minnesota. There's shit coming to a city near you. All right? When the calamities come, nobody's going to be able to hold them back. What the Most High has made crooked, can no man make straight. When he released these angels, that's holding back the four winds in Revelation, the 7th chapter, you're not going to be able to do nothing to stop these calamities when they come. All you want is the Most High to protect you till these calamities overpass. So with that, I'm going to give infinite honors to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahushua Ba'Shem and Karkadash. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to my fellow laborers in Yahushua, pushing this truth across the four winds. Kwam Yasharala, Ba Ba Ba.